Hello, everybody.
Bradley Atkins,
Multiple cases.
1933051 is called Bradley Atkins. Is that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Galmore is here with you. And this is a status review. Yes, everybody, what is the status here? Oh, I've got an administrative hearing August 1st. Scheduled judicial review, which I ordered. And it says you tested positive for THC in February, March, and May for Dallas County. Continues to use drugs, unsuccessfully discharged from safety aftercare. You'll have a chance to shake your head.
Yes, sir.
You have worked 0 hours, have 800 hours of community service. When you're on probation? 3 years now? Over 3 years?
Yes, sir.
No community service?
It was insane.
And you'll have a chance to
I'm
speak,
sorry.
Mr. Interrupter. And as of today, you owe $6,883 and are in arrears $718. You have, according to the probation officer, you have shown less than adequate progress since your probation. You appeared in the department for a hearing to discuss and your analysis was conducted before this hearing on July, and it tested positive for THC, methadone, and synthetic marijuana. Yes, it did.
July what year?
Huh?
Year?
July 23rd this year.
This year.
Yeah, 2 months ago. Less than 2 months ago. While in the UA restroom, you adamantly denied any substance use. You mentioned taking a 14-panel drug test the day before that you obtained from CVS Pharmacy that were negative. Yeah. Okay. You have to understand they don't work for me, and the panels that they use are different from what we use. You asked for a second test, a second instant test. This officer requested that the UA, urinalysis tech, conduct a second test. That second test was revealed the same results as the first test. Anyway. That your rebuttal with the CVS test has zero credibility with me because I know about it. Okay, Supervisor Wright advised you that you have two options: safe P relapse or an administrative hearing. You said you would rather neither, but instead wait for your analysis tests. Well, if you only had the option, if you were only the decision maker, but you're not, I am, and we stand by our tests. Okay, so the positive urinalysis for tetrahydrocannabinol, marijuana, and being unsuccessfully discharged from safe P aftercare while in Dallas County are to be addressed. And then it should be noted that during a telephone conversation with the defendant on February 29th, the defendant says, I got a CBD gummy from a person that worked for knee pain. During a telephone conversation on June 6th, you said, I took an HHC CBD energy shot. And according to the probation office, you are not being held accountable for your substance abuse, which are clear indications that you are not ready for a sober lifestyle. So we have scheduled this. That about summarizes this. All right, look, the tests are accurate enough that they are relied upon. And you can imagine how many times people deny that there must be something wrong with the test. But we're going to follow the test results and hold people accountable. Or else what we're doing here is just a gigantic waste of time and effort. 85% of the people are successful on my watch. 85%. 85%. Are you the 15% or not? That's what we're going to find out. But 85%, which is higher than the national average of 70. We're twice better because of the way the probation officers are dedicated to getting their clients, you, pulled across the finish line successfully. All right. So here we are. We've got these allegations, and I'm looking at this motion to revoke that was filed 2 years ago. You remember that one, sir? How'd you do in that? Court. Well, what did you plead true to, among other things? Number 9. You pleaded true to failing the drug test with tetrahydrocannabinol in your system in February of 2022. So you're not incapable of using tetrahydrocannabinol. Plus, you admitted to theft of property, being in a county when you weren't supposed to be, and again, testing positive for drugs. So we thought we had that all resolved, and then now here we are again. What should we do? What's probation office suggestions? You're going to get a chance to be heard, just like you were last time. Which here you are again, which shouldn't even be. I shouldn't see you after the first time I put you on probation, sir. Should never have to see you again, except to celebrate your completed successfully. This is the 3rd time you've been before me. Go ahead.
So as outlined in the hearing, we gave them, we tried to give some options, safety relapse, or, come back before you judge for judicial review and let the court decide. So those were our options. So whatever the court decided in this matter.
What about the safety relapse program?
Sorry.
What do you think about that? What do y'all think about that?
Well, Judge, I believe at the time I had the administrative hearing, he chose to come here for certain reasons.
And here we are.
I do have some things I'd like to address.
Go
at this
ahead.
appropriate time. I believe the court stated earlier that he failed a drug test on July 23rd, 2024 for synthetic marijuana and opioids and methadone. But in reality, that was sent off for confirmation, and it did come back positive for marijuana and alcohol. But
Is that all that's necessary?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Isn't that all that's necessary?
Yes, I just want to make sure that.
All right.
that
I think it's the same thing. It looks like a repeat performance from what happened in 22.
Mr. Atkins states that he disputed the drug test at the time. He states that he is drug free. He did take a hair follicle test at my direction. I have provided that to the state. I know that the court has stated in the past that hair follicle tests and urine tests aren't always the same standard. But he was negative on all those tests. Also, he states that he could pass a drug test today if it was important for any reason.
It was important a couple months ago.
He stated at the time.
He's supposed to pass it every day.
Right. I stated.
You can't purge it by, okay, I flunked, but I'll pass it today. That won't purge it.
I believe at the time he failed the test for marijuana, he did state that he used legal CBD products that do cause false positives on THC drug tests. And he quit using those products, and I don't believe that he will have that issue anymore. I think what would be important here, though, is to increase.
Why would you do something like that? Why would you do that? If that's true, why would you do that?
Knowledge that had THC and it would cause a positive. I'd broken my phalanx bone in my foot. I declined all pain meds. Just try to find a natural approach to it.
course, Judge, at the time, when he was originally charged, the court did not have the additional rules and regulations related to legal marijuana because it wasn't legal at the time. Of course, now the court has bond conditions related to those, but at the time, that's not ever addressed, in my opinion, in my knowledge with him. It's a new recent development since he was originally put on probation.
Okay. Full-time jobs.
All right, what else?
Well, Judge, he does have a very good job.
Yeah, there's a lot to lose. That's
He
why,
is-
why would you flirt with trouble?
He does have a lot to lose. He has a lot more to lose than probably a lot of my clients. What we're asking the court to do is consider some additional safeguards for for drug use. I've discussed with him the drug patch. He's willing to do whatever the court orders him to do. He would like the opportunity to not lose his job. And he's living and working in Dallas, reporting in Dallas. But if the court wants to see him regularly to make sure he is in full compliance with whatever additional measures the court he will do that. He can travel here today, he can travel here anytime.
It wasn't us, it was Dallas County that did the test, right?
Yes, sir. And with them unsuccessfully discharging him from safety, they sent his case back. So yeah, important.
I've noticed my fiance, who's a physician in Dallas, at Collin County, and she's a huge support system for me. So I would, if you would please, let me transfer there.
Look,
I'll redo the
look,
program, the after different.
what's fair for one is fair for everybody. It's not unusual for people to try to explain away a positive test. We're either going to follow the scientific method or not. If I don't, I open the door for one, I open it for everybody who comes in with a similar excuse. They'll go, I want the Bradley Atkins. I'll use the Bradley Atkins story, please. I have to let everybody through. That's what's fair, sir. But you're not admitting to it, but you're admitting to using CBD products. That's you're flirting with trouble there. You don't have to do that. Why would you even get near that with what can bleed over? And besides, you don't know what's in those really at the end of the day.
Correct.
All right. But that's you're putting yourself in vulnerability. That's your choice. I think a reasonable person would just go, I don't even know what's in that stuff. So I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get near it. But there you are, and here you are. And we're gonna follow the scientific method. I'm gonna believe in science rather than a story that really, for a smart guy, you could have done better on a story. Why would you get around this stuff? All right.
So can I please use the drug patch?
Sir?
Please, drug patch.
Oh, I'll probably put you on a drug patch, but that still doesn't purge the mistake you made.
Judge,
Yes, sir. What do you have to say? Go ahead.
I'm tired of looking at Mr. Atkins, to be honest with you, Judge.
That's
This is-
that's
and-
not the test.
I understand, but I start that because I want to remind Your Honor where this starts. The story starts in 2019 with this offense where he breaks in and he steals his grandmother's pain medication. That's the burglary of a habitation. There were actually two charges because he didn't just stop with her. He did the next door neighbor at the senior citizen living place that this had. This man has had a problem since 2019. Reluctantly, I dropped one of the charges and agreed to place him on probation because I was convinced then by his defense counsel that he was going to get help, he was going to be a changed man, and we weren't going to see him again. In 2022, when he came back in here because he had continued to do the same kind of conduct and he was caught inside of a hardware store, supposedly under the influence again, stealing, those excuses were offered. And Your Honor heard a hearing. He entered pleas as far as that was concerned. And we decided that the best thing to do was to get his attention and send him off to safety. Now we're sitting here listening to more excuses.
Hold on. There was also 90 days in jail.
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize. I'm trying to be brief.
But I understand, but the point is, you couldn't have enjoyed 90 days of jail.
Your Honor, I will always back you with whatever decision you make, but I'm telling you, my own personal opinion is that Mr. Atkins has used up every excuse that he can. It's time for him to go to prison.
Well, if it is, you're looking at up to 20 years in prison. You understand?
Judge, it may not change anything.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not
I'll
relative to
listen.
what we were just talking about, but it was brought up that Mr. Atkins was behind his money, and it's my understanding he has paid off. any
That's the least of it.
arrears. Sure,
That's
I
the
just
least
wanted
of it. I
Make sure it was,
mean, it doesn't do any good to be
just want to make sure it was known.
intoxicated, but paying back. I mean, that's not, it's well-being of all parties, including the defendant. That's what this court wants. And, okay, what other options do we have other than this, which isn't a bad idea? What are the options from probation that we can use here?
Just as mentioned before, we can do the drug patch,
More,
Relapse.
safety relapse.
what does that
I mean,
entail?
that,
I'm
so
really,
so basically he'll go back through the same program as
How long
safety,
is
but
that
it'd be a
program?
little bit more intense.
how long is that program?
That program is 6 months.
Mhm. Dang. I wish you wouldn't have tested positive, so don't be shaking your head.
Judge,
20 years, you're looking at 20 years in prison, which I can do. Here, it would take him 20 seconds. We're trying to give you all the opportunity to help yourself, it's like we're trying to help you and here's some money, go do the right thing. Okay, I'll buy a stick of dynamite, light it and put it in my shorts. That's what's happening.
Judge, I would like to point out that he did finish the SafeP program.
What other programs do we have?
That would be that would probably, at this point right now, Judge, that would probably be the best option as far as the safety relapse. He was unsuccessfully discharged from the aftercare program due to his substance use.
Yeah, that's that transition spot when they finish the
Yeah,
safety
so
program.
That's
Judge.
bad. That's the thing that stings here.
However, the inpatient portion, the longest portion was successfully completed. It was the last month of the outpatient program that was not completed successfully. It seems like another outpatient program, if it was successfully completed, it would not be necessary for the court to use inpatient resources.
Okay. I understand. Just had the Olympics. You run the mile. You set a world record. You're ahead of everybody by 100 yards. At the finish line, you stumble, fall, and you don't get up. What do you get? Participation medal? Not even that. Doesn't matter, 99% of the time you were ahead. You got to complete it successfully. That's like everybody does. Anyway, we're taking too much time. This is enough. What I want to do is, I'm going to look at this. I want to come back in a week on this and see if there are any other alternatives other than this other method. But you're going to be on a drug patch immediately as a modified condition. But there's going to be some other programs that we're going to add to it. And you're beginning to get too busy on this. This is all problems. And what's worse, you got my attention, which you don't need. But this is your choices. So I'm going to reset this 1 week. Okay, here and deal with it. Everybody will have a chance and we'll see what my options are and how that plays out.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.